Hey everyone, it's Gloria with Glory Bee Resale, and I'm here to do a very quick video on what sold April 13th to the 19th. And it was not a lot, so this should be pretty quick. The first thing to sell over on eBay was this Tracy Reese dress, and this sold for $15. Somebody sent me a $15 offer and I happily accepted it. And the cost to me on it was $1. Next item to sell was this mid-century modern Abraham Palatnik Lucite Owl. This was the smaller one. I did sell a little bit larger one a couple weeks ago, a couple weeks before this anyway. And this one had a little chip right at the top. I think it's hard to see in the picture, but there was a little chip at the very top of the owl. And this sold for $84.15. Cost to me on it was $5. And the last thing to sell on eBay, so only 3 things sold that week. Not good. Was this pair of NYDJ, Not Your Daughter's Jeans drawstring shorts. And these were a pair I had bought these and didn't end up liking them. And these sold for or $16 and the cost was 0 because these were something I picked up and I just didn't like the fit. Next item to sell was this vintage wood design shelf. This sold for $31 and the cost to me on it was $2. Next item to sell was this carrot planter. This is a vintage, I'm going to say probably 40s, um, maybe 50s planter. This sold for $15 and the cost to me on it was $2. Next thing to sell on Poshmark was this vintage set of rosary beads with the crucifix. And this sold for $20. Cost to me on it was $1. And if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. Next item to sell and last item on Poshmark was this Indretta Donatello beaded red halter mini dress. And this was newer tag. Yeah, newer tags, vintage. And this sold for $45. Cost to me on it was $5.99. Now over to Etsy, and the first thing to sell on Etsy was this small mid-century lamp. It did have the original shade with it, and this sold for $45, and this cost to me on this was $3. Next item to sell was this vintage wood box, toolbox, garden box, and this sold for $68. Cost to me on it was $4. Next item to sell was this piece of wooden gears from some sort of farm equipment. And This sold for $159, and the cost to me on it was $20. The next item to sell was this vintage Homeco wall pocket, and this sold for $34, and the cost to me on it was $3.99. And the last thing to sell was this hummingbird tray. It was made of aluminum with embossed um, hummingbirds, and flowers. And this sold for $28. Cost me was $2. And that was everything that sold that week from April 13th to the 19th. So I hope your sales are going good. Anything you want to share, just share in the comments of what you sold. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.